All right, so we're on the writing assignment, page 91 and 92. So it begins here with Patrick Henry's most famous speech, "Give me liberty or give me death." And I'm just reading from up above. He wants to call his fellow Americans to arms, which means to using weapons. Bearing arms is being armed with guns. He wants to call his fellow Americans to arms against Great Britain, but he hears them talking wistfully about peace. While he scolds the convention for wistful thinking, he uses one solid reason for supporting his idea that America must go to war. So we're going to read this. I think we may just talk about kind of each line as we go along. I have but one lamp by which my feet are guided, and that is the lamp of experience. So, like we mentioned, they're talking wistfully about peace. Well, they don't have any examples to look at of a wonderful peace that it just arose out of nothing. That's not really the history of the world. So he's looking at history and being realistic about what's going to happen. So he continues, I know no way of judging the future but by the past. And judging by the past, I wish to know what there has been in the conduct of the British ministry for the last 10 years to justify those hopes with which gentlemen have been pleased to solace themselves and the House. So he's looking back at the past where Great Britain has been, in his opinion, getting more and more tyrannical and ruling them without really letting them have any representation, and failing to recognize the differences and the need to govern themselves when they're so far away. So he doesn't understand the hope that these men have, that they're pleased to solace themselves. That means they just comfort themselves with the idea that everything will be fine, it'll all work out, it's going to be great. And he's saying there's no logical reason to be trusting in that. So, is it that insidious smile with which our petition has been lately received? So he's saying, they may have been polite and smiled at us when we have talked to them about breaking off and what we want, but it's an insidious smile. It's hiding their true feelings, which he doesn't think are honorable and good towards the colonies. Trust it not, sir. It will prove a snare to your feet, so don't trust the smile on their face. Look at what they've been doing for the past 10 years. Suffer not yourselves to be betrayed with a kiss. So he's referring to Jesus and Judas in the Garden of Gethsemane, that Judas kissed Jesus and acted like he was a friend, but really it was a betrayal. Ask yourselves how this gracious reception of our petition comports with these warlike preparations, which cover our waters and darken our land. So, they're being gracious and polite, but they're also making warlike preparations, sending soldiers over. And he said, how does that comport? How do those two things comport? How do they go together? They don't make sense. Are fleets and armies necessary to a work of love and reconciliation? If you're trying to work things out in a peaceful way, why are you sending your Navy ships and your armies to our land? He's asking. Have we shown ourselves so unwilling to be reconciled that force must be called in to win back our love? Let us not deceive ourselves, sir. These are the implements of war and subjugation, the last arguments to which kings resort. So he's saying they're not bringing the Navy over and the Army over to have a nice chat with us. They're bringing it over to begin a war and begin treating the people more like slaves than citizens. So the smile may be nice and the politeness is just on the surface, but he knows what's underneath because he can tell by the way they're acting. I ask gentlemen, Sir, what means this, sorry, I gotta move my page. What means this martial array? So martial would be dealing with the military. If its purpose be not to force us to submission. Can gentlemen assign any other possible motive for it? Has Great Britain any enemy in this quarter of the world to call for all this accumulation of navies and armies? No, sir, she has none. They are meant for us. They can be meant for no other. So, there's no reason why Great Britain is bringing armies and the navy in large numbers over to the colonies other than to try and subjugate the colonies. So that's what Patrick Henry's argument was. So you're going to take, I can't remember, you can look on the grid, however many sentences are on the grid. I want to say 3, but if it's not 3, that's okay. You're going to take, I think it's 3 sentences, and write them in your own words. So, just for an example, I have but one lamp by which my feet are guided, and that is the lamp of experience. So you can say, when I look at the world, I look at what's happened to help me know what's going on. You know, that would be kind of putting that in your own words. I look at history and reality to see what's going on. And he's opposing that to the kind of the wishful dreaming that these other men in the legislature were doing. So that's your assignment for this time, and next time you'll be looking at these pictures, but that will be on a different day. So we'll go ahead and stop for today. Talk to you guys later.